Welcome to the deep dive. If you're an administrator, you probably know one of the biggest operational headaches isn't always a server issue. Sometimes it's the grading scale. Today, as part of the DreamClass team, we're really digging into U.S. grading standards, and crucially, why getting that standardization right is just, well, non-negotiable.
Absolutely. Defining that gradebook scale, it's almost like defining your school's DNA, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the core rule set that converts, every single student score, every raw result into that final mark. It could be a letter, a percentage, maybe points feeding into a GPA.
And the confusion that happens when it's not clear, it's significant. Without a properly documented scale right there in your system, that same score, let's say an 89.45%, it might end up being a B+ in one class.
Right.
And maybe an A in another. That inconsistency, it baffles families, it frustrates teachers, and honestly, it makes transcripts way more complicated down the road.
Exactly right. So, look, our mission here is pretty straightforward. Standardize that scale just once, get it locked down, and then let your SIS, your student information system.
Something like DreamClass, for instance.
Precisely, like DreamClass. Let the system handle that complex conversion math permanently.
Okay, so that's the why, the administrative pain point. Let's maybe dig into the how a bit more. What actually defines that standardization layer, the thing that turns performance into an official grade?
Yeah, well, think of it as the bridge, the consistent bridge from what happens in the classroom to what appears in the official transcript.
Okay.
And that consistency, it's vital, especially if you ever need to defend a grade during, say, a parent meeting or maybe an accreditation review.
Makes sense.
So administrators, they really need to centralize three key mappings. First, raw numeric percentages into letters, like A, B, C. Second, maybe total points accumulated into those same letters. And third, crucially, mapping those letters into the official GPA values.
So when we look specifically at the US, the most common format is probably those classic percentage bands, right? 90 to 100 is an A, 80 to 89 is a B, and so on.
That's the standard baseline for many, yes. It's pretty straightforward, good for transparency.
But then you see the plus-minus grades appearing more too.
Yes, exactly. Adding that A- threshold, maybe 90 to 92%, or a B+ out like 87 to 89, that gives you more precision.
And why is that precision important?
Well, think about competitive programs or scholarships. Committees often look very closely at transcripts, and those small distinctions, like an A versus a B+ ed, can actually matter near a cutoff point.
Right, those micro differences. And speaking of transcripts, GPA is huge. Most schools use the unweighted 4.0 scale, A equals 4.0, B equals 3.0. Pretty standard.
It is.
But how do you handle weighted GPAs for advanced courses without things getting messy between departments?
That's a really important point. Many schools do support weighted GPAs for honors or AP or IB courses, often adding, maybe half a point or a full point to the base value.
So an A in AP Chem might be worth 5.0 instead of 4.0.
Correct. And centralizing that mapping, the letter to GPA calculation, including the weighting rules, that ensures the final GPA is calculated consistently across every department, no matter the subject.
Okay, but hold on. If different departments decide which courses get weighted, doesn't that kind of undermine the consistency you're aiming for? That sounds like it could get complicated if it's not centrally managed.
It absolutely can, which really highlights why institutional fit matters so much. A K-12 private school might just need simple percentage thresholds, clearly published. But higher education, they often need really robust, audit-ready GPA logic that can stand up to intense scrutiny.
Got it. So we need precision, we need clear policy, and it all needs to be sort of baked into the system. How do administrators actually make sure this happens reliably? Is there a kind of checklist?
There is. Success here really depends on getting the policy, the communication, and the system's data exports perfectly aligned. So, step one, clearly define your bands. Letters, percentages, points.
Okay, define the bands.
Step two, map those letters directly to your official institutional GPA scale, both weighted and unweighted, if you use both. Okay, so third step, you need to actually build this into your system. Configure the scale properly, usually by term.
Right.
And then critically, lock it down after the census date.
Why after census?
Well, that's usually the point when enrollment numbers are final, and you generally don't want grading policies changing midterm after that point. It creates stability.
Okay, lock it after census. Step 4.
Publish the policy. Make sure the final approved grading scale policy is clearly visible in the student and parent portals. No secrets, no guessing.
Transparency again. Makes sense.
And the final essential step, before grades actually go live, test everything. Run sample transcripts, check data exports. Verify that the math, the mapping, the rounding, it's all working exactly as intended.
So doing all this, centralizing the logic in a platform like DreamClass gives you that consistency term after term.
Exactly. It takes the guesswork out of it.
That implementation process definitely sounds like it provides some critical stability. So what's maybe one final thought for administrators once they've gone through this checklist?
Yeah, here's something to consider. Don't just treat the policy as a static document you set and forget.
Okay.
Once you have it implemented, maybe schedule a quick post-check meeting with department heads after the term ends. Ask them, were there any odd exceptions you had to handle? Any common questions from families that kept popping up?
Like a feedback loop.
Precisely. Feeding that continuous feedback back into the policy review process ensures your gradebook scale actually improves each term. It helps you refine it without surprising teachers or parents with sudden changes next year. It keeps things smooth.
That's really excellent advice. Building in that continuous improvement loop helps the whole school community. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for tuning in to the deep dive.